Hi everyone, my name is Brittany Moses. I have been doing my plant journey for, started about 4 or 5 years ago, but I really didn't get serious or understand it until I would say about a year ago. And then the reason I got really into it is for, like most of us, something goes on in our life that causes us to become a little bit more aware of our surroundings, of our body, wanting to help ourselves, help our children, help our pets, help ourselves and friends, and we start to investigate. So my story, a little bit before we dive into this, because we're going to be getting into hormones with this video. So I hope right away that you have a pad of paper and a pen, because it is kind of fact intensive. And especially when you start hearing things that might be turning light bulbs on for you, you're going to want to write them down. But my story, just a little bit, I'll try to keep it nice and short if you don't already know. I don't mind sharing my story because I feel that, one, I heal a little bit more each time I tell it. Two, it keeps the memory alive. And then three, I believe that I'm not the only one and it actually can help people and relate with people. So my story is about a year and a half ago, my husband and I, we got pregnant with our second child. We have a 2.5-year-old right now. But we got pregnant again, and pretty much off the get-go for the entire pregnancy, I was bleeding, and I bled and bled and bled, and baby was always fine. I had what was called a subchorionic hematoma. I also had placenta previa. So if you look those up if you're not sure, but they're not very good to have, especially together. By 20 weeks, my water broke, and after that, that's not a really good thing. The week of viability for a baby is normally around 23 and a half, 24 weeks. So 20 weeks of water breaking is not a good sign. I'm also open and exposed at that point. So I ended up starting to show signs of infection, localized infection. And I started to hemorrhage. So went into the hospital, and basically, they told me that he was still alive and everything, but he was probably infected since I had been opened. And with the amount of blood I was losing, I needed to go ahead and deliver him. So we did 30 hours of labor, 2 failed epidurals, no progression later. Finally, they said, okay, we're gonna have to do surgery, but it was supposed to be a quick, easy thing. Ended up not being because my uterus ruptured in surgery and started losing more blood. So then they had to control that, remove baby, and then get me all fixed up. To say coming out of anesthesia was easy is an understatement. Basically, you need blood in order to do so, and I didn't have very much. With my stay at the hospital, I had lost about half my blood supply. So we did a couple blood transfusions, which was wonderful, and it does help. It makes you feel like you're coming back to life just a little bit. But recovery after that was not the best. There's the obvious grieving that takes place when you lose a child, but I also dealt with a lot of physiological issues with recovery afterwards. For obvious reasons, my body was highly depleted of many vitamins and minerals. When that happens, it throws off multi-systems in your body, but particularly your hormonal system is very sensitive to mineral and vitamin balances. So along with the big hormone change I had from being pregnant to all of a sudden not being pregnant, and it was halfway through the pregnancy. So the body was kind of in a shock from that. So because of that, I fell into a horrible physical and mental state, not healthy in any way. I felt that my brain could not work and do the things that I needed it to do to function on daily life. And I had to take care of my home and my 2-year-old at the time, and I couldn't. So I had to get help. I was on a mission to figure out what was going on with me. The modern medicine world was telling me that everything was fine, but I could tell and feel in my body that it wasn't. So I ended up coming in contact with a wonderful endocrinologist. We did a bunch of testing, and he was like, well, one, you're extremely anemic for obvious reasons. And I also had really high antibodies with supposed normal thyroid numbers, but with high antibodies and then some fluctuation in my numbers. He was like, oh, you have Hashimoto's, which is a type autoimmune disorder of hypothyroidism. So we understood very quickly why I wasn't feeling well, why things were not clicking well in my brain. And he said, it's just going to take a while to get you back online, but there's things we can be doing. He is a wonderful, smart doctor, but he also believes in holistic working and how the body works in a whole. And he understands how the body is reliant on balance in your vitamins and minerals, along with getting rid of toxins in your life, to help basically heal or help out parts of your body that could be affected by those deficiencies. So he later on, to help me, recommended a couple things in the Young Living brand, and I was shocked. But after I started using some of my hormonal oils along with some supplementation and cleaning out some of the toxic chemicals that were around me, I started coming back online. And pretty quickly, which was needed. And it was quite a miracle, and it was pretty awesome to see that there was help, there were answers, and it was something that I could do at home. And it was really exciting. It kind of propelled me after that to never feel like that again, to understand how the body works even more, and to help others that were dealing with hormonal imbalance, mental health issues, physical health issues, and understanding the domino effect that's involved, and loving the fact that our Lord gave us plants and other natural products out there to help your body and support your body, rather than constantly having to defer to modern medicine, which is still wonderful and I still love, and it has saved my life. But I believe that we can help ourselves by finally acknowledging what the Lord gave us. So in Young Living, with their standards and their seed to seal standards, has been a lifesaver, and knowing that I'm getting the real stuff, nothing gunky in it, and chemical free and all those. So, and now I've just incorporated it into every part of my life and try to tell every single other person about it too. So let's get started here. Get your pen ready. And basically, I'm going to ask you, what do you think a hormone is? So you can say it out loud, think it in your head. But basically, a hormone is cell-to-cell communication. Okay, it's the way that your body talks to itself. If you want a cell from the brain to talk to your thyroid, there's a hormone that has to happen there. If you want your thyroid to tell something to your adrenal glands, then there has to be a hormone to communicate. Okay. What happens is your cells, you know, even if it's a circle, your cells have these little divots all over them that are called receptor sites. They're specifically shaped to only fit, they'll only allow something in that fits in that receptor site, okay? So the hormone has a certain molecular formula, shape to it, and when it goes around in your bloodstream and it finally hits your cells, it will only fit into the receptor sites it's made to fit in, and that way enter the cell and tell the cell what to do, okay? So it's essentially how this kind of works on a very broken down layman's term scale, okay? This is also called your endocrine system. So if you hear the word endocrine, that also means hormones, okay? And there's multi-organs associated with your endocrine system. It is not just your sex hormones. That is actually at the bottom of the totem pole. Your hormones are actually, they start in your brain, and you have, we're gonna do a little bit of the pyramid here. So if you wanna write this down, it starts with your pituitary and hypothalamus, which is actually in the middle of your brain. They're very tiny, fragile organs, but it's cool that the Lord keeps them right in the middle of your brain for protection, okay? After that comes your thyroid, and your thyroid is actually pretty superficial. You can palpate it with your fingers and actually move it. I'm a dental hygienist, so we had to learn how to check it, make sure that it's mobile. And it's like a butterfly over top of your trachea, okay? After that, the thyroid is in charge of multi-organs, okay? So first your brain is in charge of your thyroid, and then the thyroid, it branches out into multiple organs. The thyroid's in charge of your adrenal glands, which are on the tops of your kidneys, which are mostly towards the back. It's in charge of your gut, which most people wouldn't even think that gut would be considered anything in the hormone world, but it is, and we'll explain why. It helps control your liver, which is underneath your right ribs. It also helps with your pancreas. And then thyroid also affects your ovaries or your testes. So that's the way it works. Then we're gonna go into each organ and kind of talk about what its job is and some issues you might be experiencing if that's messed up, okay? So starting with the brain again on the hypothalamus and the pituitary, we call these like your master glands because they are the powerhouse. They're the ones that if these get messed up, everything will get out of whack. If the top of the pyramid is messed up, that trickles down into everything, okay? So taking care of your hypothalamus and your pituitary is really important. How do how can that get messed up? There are some chemical things that can happen in the brain that can mess up your hypothalamus and your pituitary. Also some tumors can happen. So some people can get pituitary tumors. You can get hypopituitary, you can get hyper, okay, overactive or underactive pituitaries. Trauma can affect them. So obviously athletes are a little higher risk for that. But if you have issues with those, you'll notice your whole body stops functioning in multiple ways, okay? The hormones that the pituitary is in charge of is your TSH, which is your thyroid stimulating hormone. So the pituitary tells the thyroid when to turn on. It's also control of prolactin, which helps with milk production if you're gonna nurse. Secretes growth hormone. Your pituitary secretes luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone, and those are for women for ovulating, okay? The pituitary also secretes oxytocin, which is a happy feeling hormone, relaxing for the body, but definitely needed during milk production and during labor for women as well. Next, we're going to go into how the thyroid works. So your thyroid uses a mineral that's really important in order for it to even make its hormones and then secrete its hormones, and that's iodine. Okay, iodine is extremely needed in your diet, along with selenium, to keep the thyroid healthy. But the iodine in the molecular reaction needs iodine. Okay, your thyroid's in control of your metabolic rate. So you can, if that's messed up, you'll notice you either gain weight or lose weight, okay? Heart rate's in control of your heart rate. So some people with issues with their thyroid will get heart palpitations, okay? Skin maintenance, in charge of growth, fertility, okay? Has a lot on your progesterone and estrogen control. Affects your digestion. So if you're having issues in your digestive system, it could be linked up to the one in charge, which is the thyroid. Controls your adrenals and when they're secreting their hormones. And if you've ever heard of adrenaline, then you know what I'm talking about. Pancreatic enzymes, it tells your pancreas when to secrete these digestive enzymes, and liver enzymes, okay? So the thyroid tells the liver when to secrete its enzymes as well. So the thyroid is really, really important here, okay? Now here's a cool fact about the thyroid. The hormones, the specific hormones that it secretes to do all this, it's called T3. Has a long name, but we're just gonna, to shorten it, they call it T3. T3 secretes from the thyroid, okay? After it's been told to do that by the pituitary, okay? Comes into your bloodstream, it goes down, and in the liver and in the gut is it where it transverts and converts into T4, okay? You need both T3 and T4 in order for the hormones to do its job, to tell the cells of your body what to do, okay? So it's important that you have good liver function and good gut health so that it can convert the T3 into T4, okay? We didn't realize how important the liver and gut were, and even just your hormones, okay? You need both T3 and T4. You can't just have T3. So they both are needed in order to control all those things that we listed out with the thyroid. So that's an important thing to remember. Okay, next, we're gonna get into the adrenal glands, okay? The adrenal glands pump two main hormones, and that is the cortisol and your adrenaline. Okay, these are kind of your get up and go, your fight or flight hormones. They give you energy. Okay, so we need some cortisol and we need some adrenaline. Otherwise, you'll just sleep all the time and never wake up. Okay, so again, if these are imbalanced, you might notice that you're sleeping all the time and cannot wake up, or you'll notice that your anxiety is super high if your levels with your adrenal are not right, and that's because you're pumping too much cortisol or too much adrenaline, okay? The adrenals also pump a tiny bit of testosterone too, but your adrenals are there to react when needed. Pump a little bit out for energy and to get things done or to go, and then pump a big amount when you're dealing with fight or flight. Okay, and that's for a protective mechanism. But your body needs to be able to come down from that and rebalance back out, and sometimes it doesn't, okay? Next, we're gonna go into the gut. Again, we already talked about that after the thyroid secretes T3, after the thyroid secretes T4, it turns into T3 in the gut and liver. I don't know if I've said that before, but that's the right way. T4 comes out of the thyroid, converts to T3 in the stomach and the liver. That is in control of metabolism, digestive function, muscle control, brain development, and all of that, okay? So we have to take care of our gut. Other cool thing about the gut is that 80% of your immune system is developed in your gut, along with 90% of your serotonin, okay? So your serotonin is the happy neurotransmitter, and if only 10% is getting made in the brain, and we need more of that, and this is why we have people that are trying to reuptake more serotonin in their body, so that's why they're on these antidepressants. But if we can support our gut health, you might be able to make more serotonin, because that's where 90% of it is made anyway. Okay, so they're actually starting to see like a gut-brain health connection these days. Also, keeping your gut healthy is important for nutrient absorption, okay? To make sure that you're breaking your food down enough in your stomach so that you're actually breaking it down into the small particles of the nutrients and absorbing that into your intestines. And there's obviously a list of things you can experience if your gut is not healthy. Okay, liver and pancreas, okay, they have two different jobs here. The pancreas, its main job is secreting digestive enzymes. And digestive enzymes pump into the stomach. They help break your food down into the very small particles that we need and molecules in order to fit into the intestines, but also be small enough so that the cilia inside your intestines can absorb those nutrients. If you don't break your food down enough, you're not going to absorb enough, okay? We're supposed to be secreting a certain amount of pancreatic enzymes, but a lot of times, especially if the top of the chain's getting messed up, the pancreas may not be supporting the breakdown of your nutrients enough, and you may not be secreting enough. And so you would need to supplement with more digestive enzymes. So we'll talk about that and how you can do that. The liver is your big filter of the body, okay? I really want you to kind of star your gut and liver during this talk because they play a big factor in a lot of things. But your liver is probably the most exposed organ out of any other organ with any of the harsh chemicals or estrogens or synthetic hormones that we expose our body to. Everything, the liver has to process all of this, tries to metabolize it. It also is trying to detox your blood, detox your body of these things. The problem is over this high exposure or long-term chronic exposure, it can get bioaccumulated in the liver and can actually start causing the liver to not function properly, okay? And then it has a hard time filtering, and over time, then it just kind of isn't able to. You have to try to cleanse your liver, keep it healthy so it can continue to help filter out your body, cleanse your body, and detox your body, okay? It also produces enzymes in the liver that you need for digestion. Again, bile is another one. It also is in control of some fat storage of your body. It also is in control of your some vitamin storage and mineral storages. It also can make some proteins. It's important in building the protein for blood clotting. And we already talked about removing bacteria and toxins from the blood, metabolizing drugs and all that. So it has major roles. You cannot live without a liver, so we need to keep it healthy. Okay, and there's ways to try to detox your liver. And then finally, we'll get into the ovaries and the testes. The ovaries mostly pump estrogen and progesterone, and they pump a small amount of testosterone too, because us women, we have to have a little bit, okay? There's a couple things that can increase your estrogen, which is a problem, okay? So one is, I actually learned, is fat tissue makes estrogen. So the more fat tissue you have on your body, the more production of estrogen you're going to make. Why is that a bad thing? So your body is only works once a certain amount of estrogen going on, okay? Especially when you're dealing with your cycle. The more estrogen, if you go beyond that threshold and you get too much estrogen, you actually throw your whole cycle out of balance and your body out of balance. And so it actually lowers your progesterone if you get too much estrogen, okay? The other issue is that estrogen in itself, too much of it, especially if synthetic, has been shown to be linked to multiple issues. Cancer, it mutates the cell, it causes free radicals in the body, big precursor to infertility, endometriosis, PCOS, the list goes on issues with breast cancer, stroke, heart attack, all of that, all because of increase in estrogen. Okay, so how does that happen? How is all this happening? Women are actually considered estrogen dominant in a bad way these days because, one, we tend to be a much heavier country than others, and so our BMIs are higher, and so our fat percentage is higher, and so we're making more estrogen than we should. And then two, we are exposed to so many synthetic estrogens that you don't even realize, okay? I want you to write the word down, xenoestrogens, with an X, okay? Xeno, Zenoestrogens. And xenoestrogens are estrogen-like synthetic hormones, but they're chemicals, okay, that are actually in almost all of our daily stuff. Okay, so this is where I start to burst people's bubbles. We're talking household cleaner, we're talking shampoo and conditioner, we're talking makeup, we're talking deodorant, we're talking your laundry detergent, your dishwashing soap, your lotion, your perfume, your candles. Okay, it's literally in everything, especially if you see certain chemical names. Now, I'm not going to get into all of the chemical names because that's a whole nother class, and we call it our chemical-free living class or our living with thieves class, any of those where we actually get into the specifics of what you need to be looking out for in your products to know when you're getting exposed to these xenoestrogens. But they're literally in everything because our country allows it, okay? What they do is, because they're estrogen-like, they have that molecular shape of estrogen. They fit into the receptor sites of our sex hormones, okay? But our body recognizes it as not necessarily self, okay, or plant, because plants are considered bioidentical. They see this as a synthetic thing that is foreign. So what does the body do when they see that? They go into an inflammatory state, okay? It also causes the cell to try to go into a protective fighting state on that. And that's when you can start to have cellular change. Cellular change leads to cancer cells, okay? So we need to get that exposure away, all right? Take away the xenoestrogens. Also, how does your own natural estrogen enter the cell if it's clogged up with xenoestrogens? It cannot. So then you have all this floating natural estrogen in your bloodstream, along with all this other xenoestrogens that are coming in contact with your cells and causing that cellular change. That everything is out of whack, along with the cells of your organs starting to change. It's not good. So we'll talk about how you can help support and try to get rid of that process. And then on the testes, they obviously secrete testosterone. They do not secrete estrogen or progesterone. For men, though, they do have some estrogen, and the way that happens is their testosterone meets with an enzyme that turns it into some estrogen. Okay, so that's how their body works. And men are also highly affected by estrogens, because again, the higher up in your estrogen, it's going to put lower in your testosterone and your progesterone. Okay, those are needed. So men are actually getting more estrogenized in this world, becoming more feminine, if you will. And so we're dealing with low testosterone issues for men. It ups their cardiovascular risk. There's all kinds of issues with over estrogenizing. Okay, low libidos from that, along with many other symptoms. Let's see. So, again, we talked about that pyramid kind of. So when the top of the pyramid gets messed up, it trickles down really, really easily. The thyroid's still pretty close to the top of the pyramid. So if the thyroid gets messed up, it can very easily mess up anything that it's in control of, okay? Multiple things can throw off the thyroid too. So it's an extremely fragile organ. So not only are they the carcinogens that are in our daily products that we're touching on our skin or breathing in or exposing ourselves to on a daily basis or ingesting, our food has it too. It's also from a deficiency in minerals and vitamins, okay? So supplementation is becoming a huge need. Our farming techniques are not the same. Our soil is not the same. We have a ton of GMO foods out there now, and we are starting to become deficient in many important vitamins and minerals that the thyroid needs in order to stay healthy. Okay, so certain ones that can throw off a thyroid, one, I told you, are iodine, selenium. Very important. For a normal healthy thyroid, you need about 100 micrograms of selenium a day. For a hypo or an underactive thyroid, you might want to look into more like 200 micrograms a day. Other ones are copper, if you're not getting enough copper, magnesium, but you particularly want magnesium glycinate. Okay, not like magnesium citrate and all that. That'll help you with the digestion, but that's not what we're talking about as far as working receptor site-wise on the brain and the nervous system and health for your thyroid for that balance. Magnesium glycinate. What was the other one I was going to say? There's copper, magnesium, and well, you take your notes and then you're like, well, where are we at? I know I have it here somewhere. Oh, Iron, there we go, iron. So iron is another big one you need to make sure that you have enough of. I obviously did not after losing so much blood. But normally they'll just hand you ferrous sulfate as your supplement. The problem is that one is extremely rough on the body and has a hard time absorbing it. What you really want to try to find is ferrous gluconate, okay? And I know where to find all these proper vitamins in their proper forms, okay? Because I did my research and I was like, this is awesome that Young Living even has them in the proper form and not in this bad form. Another one is you need to have proper folate in your body. Now, notice I didn't say folic acid. Folic acid is the synthetic version of folate. Okay, the body, and there's actually like 50% of the population who has a gene that actually will not respond to folic acid, will not notice it, absorb it, do anything, will just chuck it. So folate is what you need. That's the natural bioidentical derivative. Okay, so we already talked about how all of this can get messed up. Let's talk about fixing it, right? Okay, so we're gonna go kind of back to the beginning, starting from the top, working our way down on how to support each system or each organ. When we're talking about the brain and the hypothalamus and the pituitary, there's different things and plants that are bioidentical and have receptor sites that fit with that area, okay? Frankincense is wonderful, okay? So I don't know if you've ever smelled frankincense, but it smells very earthy, but it's very extremely grounding, has a little bit of a smoky sense to it. It's a beautiful tree in the Middle East, but frankincense works directly on the brain receptor sites, and it has kind of a trance effect to it, but helps really lower the nervous system, but really helps to help clean the cells out and support the function of the brain, particularly in the pituitary and the hypothalamus. Okay, so frankincense is awesome to use for that. Some people put it directly on their head, but because it's a relaxing essential oil, wonderful if you're starting to feel super shaky and you just are feeling a little bit too high and you need to calm down, then put a drop of frankincense vitality under your tongue. You can rub it, you can smell it, it really helps. Frankincense is translated to the oil that does everything, and it really can. Another one is we have a blend called Endoflex, okay? And this blend has multiple plants: spearmint, sage, geranium, myrtle, matricaria, and nutmeg. Okay, so when they tried to come up with this blend, they were trying to think of plants that actually supported almost every organ in the endocrine system, and so these plants do. They're specifically pulled out to help. The one that I really love in here is called myrtle, and myrtle is awesome for the thyroid, okay? So I particularly take my Endoflex and rub it on my thyroid every day. But some people like to literally just go down their body with it and touch all the parts of their body. As long as your essential oil is getting in on your skin, it will get absorbed in, enters your bloodstream, and it will travel and find those receptor sites that it meets and will enter the cell that way too, okay? Another thing for hypothalamus and pituitary brain support is a supplement with fish oil. Okay, so we have a fish oil called Omegagize, okay? This is how you get your omega fatty acids, okay? Your brain requires fat in order for the nervous system to work, but you need healthy fats, okay? So even though have a healthy fat diet, but also making sure you're getting your omega-3s and fatty acids. This also adds CoQ10, which is very beneficial for multiple things. So taking fish oil every day is really important, and they have a great one with Omegagize. We talked about the nervous system with magnesium, okay? So the magnesium glycinate, making sure that you're getting plenty of vitamin Bs, which are very important for your nervous system and your brain. The folate, like I talked about, and what they have with Young Living is this multivitamin called Master Formula. Okay, comes in this box. You can open up the back. They come in these little packets here. Okay, and you'll notice that this actually has not one pill, like a one pill multivitamin, but it actually has 4 pills. okay? So the reason they did that is they took all the nutrients that you need and broke them up into 4 different pills, because certain vitamins and minerals should not be clumped together, and they should be with different ones so they can be in their proper form and then supported and absorbed in the body better. Okay, it's called SSI technology, and you can look it up on why they did that and how they did that. But I love that they took the time to understand how vitamins, if you're going to take the time to take them, you need them to actually work and absorb. So this is the way it should be done. Also, they're in their proper form. They didn't get the ferrous sulfate, they got the ferrous glucinate. They didn't get the magnesium citrate, they're using the magnesium glycinate. They're not doing folic acid, they're doing the folate. So they understand, they did their research and understand what the body really needs, and they're not trying to make a cheap vitamin, and so they're giving you the proper form so it actually has therapeutic properties to it. Okay, does that make sense? So I love my master formula. I take this packet every single day, and I probably will forever, okay? We're gonna move down into the thyroid, okay? So this one's really important. There's multiple things that can help. We already talked about the Endoflex, okay? That has the myrtle in there, which is really awesome for your thyroid. And then we talked about how the thyroid is very easily affected by mineral and vitamin imbalance. So again, taking that master formula again to get all of those minerals and keep your body not deficient in that way. And then they have a supplement that I don't have on me right now, but it's called Thiamin, okay? And Thiamin has a ton of iodine in it. So this is a great way to get your iodine into your system. Here's the thing though, I do not recommend it for people who have not gone to the doctor and know if they're hyperthyroid or not, okay? If you are hyperthyroid, you don't want more iodine. You probably need less iodine. So I don't want to say go and get Thiamin to support your thyroid if you are not sure of your levels. Make sure you're not hyperthyroid first. And then if you're hypo, you could benefit from Thiamin, okay? That's pretty much it on the thyroid. We're gonna move on to adrenals, okay? So there's two oils that are great for the adrenals. We already talked about frankincense because it works on the nervous system directly in the brain, so it can really help prevent the adrenal glands from pumping too much cortisol and adrenaline. Okay, lower that down. But particularly to help with that and to also keep the adrenal glands itself healthy is nutmeg. Okay, so nutmeg, it's vitality, so you can ingest it. I don't, unless I was gonna cook with it, you know. It has an interesting smell. You would think, you're like, oh, I would love nutmeg. Well, nutmeg's a very strong plant, and without it being cooked in something, it's kind of a lot. So I actually rub this on my adrenals directly and put the frankincense vitality under my tongue whenever I'm experiencing those moments where I just need to chill out, okay? I'm telling you, it's worked every single time for me. It's the craziest thing, and I don't know why I get shocked every time because I understand the science behind it, but I do. I just love that it's an easy help for those moments. So nutmeg's great for adrenal glands. Now, supplements for the adrenal glands are obviously I talked about magnesium and the nervous system. So we already know our master formula has the right form of magnesium, okay? So again, adrenal support is in your master formula. Then we have a B complex, okay? This B complex is called Super B. All right, and they have actually seen that if you increase your B vitamins by, incredible percentages, that it really helps with the nervous system, okay? So your master formula has some B vitamins in it, but this has even more, okay? So people have noticed great effects with this, with really chilling out the nervous system, all right? You obviously wouldn't want to take your Super Bs too late in the afternoon. It might keep you too awake. But this is lovely because it helps balance out, bees help balance out your adrenals to give you that amount of cortisol that you need for energy. Because sometimes, bees can make you energized, B vitamins, but you're not in a state of fight or flight necessarily, and you can come down into function properly and stay in a balance there, and you don't go into what's called adrenal fatigue, where you're actually pumping too much for too long. Okay, so bees are great to add as well, especially if you need a little extra calming down support. Okay, so that, and then we have another supplement for the adrenal glands. I don't have it on me. It's called Corti Stop. Corti, C-O-R-T-I, stop. Okay, and basically it's trying to do what we're saying, stop cortisol. So again, you could, if you're noticing that's a big issue for you, you could try that and see how you do with it, okay? Try the other techniques too, because you may not end up needing it, but some people need a little extra support in that area. Okay, we're gonna move on to the gut here and different things I recommend to support the gut. Now, obviously, I'm going to talk about a probiotic. I'm obsessed with probiotics. I love this new science that's coming out on gut health and how it's linked to everything. So if you're not on a probiotic, you need to be obviously eating a balanced diet. Try to eat as clean and as whole and as organic as you can, GMO-free as much as you can. But the probiotic, we have one called Life 9, okay? It's called that because it has 9 different strains of bacteria. It also has 17 billion live active cultures, okay? A proper, healthy amount of live active cultures for a probiotic should be somewhere between 10 to 20 billion. They have some out there that are way more than that. It's not necessarily needed, but you can. But you certainly don't want to get one that's only 1 billion, okay? The other issue is you want to look into the company who's making it, what's inside of it, because it could have fillers, it could have other things in it. And also the way they process it and package it and store it has a lot to do with if these bacteria, these live active cultures actually even stay alive. So by the time you even take it off the shelf and open it up and take it, does it still have that many billions of bacteria as it's claiming to have? So another way to help your probiotic to stay at its highest efficiency is to add a prebiotic, okay? Prebiotics tend to be fiber-based, and they basically feed the bacteria of your probiotic so that they don't just immediately die off and then not do their job. They're going to be fed, and then they sit in your gut, and then they help balance out your normal flora, because you are supposed to have a certain amount of bacteria in your body, okay, in certain types. So some options for prebiotics or anything fiber-based, so you can eat fiber-based things. One fiber-based thing that we have that's high in fiber is our Ninja Red, okay? As you can see, I've drank a good amount of it. But Ninja Red is a wolfberry puree, and because it's a puree, it has the skin, it has the rind, it has the seeds, it has everything in it. So that's where it has a high fiber content. And we'll talk about some of the other benefits of Ninja Red and why you should be drinking it anyway. But this also works as an amazing prebiotic for your probiotic. Also a great prebiotic, and you're going to be doing this anyway, because we've already talked about it, is your master formula. Okay, so the master formula in here has fiber content as well. That's a great prebiotic for your Life 9 probiotic. Okay, so that's pretty much your gut. We do have an oil that, when it's not necessarily an essential oil blend that is linked with hormone support per se, but whenever your gut needs a little extra support, your digestion needs a little extra support, then we have a blend called Digize. And so I've just been loving that whenever things are not right with my gut. It makes it right again. Okay, we're gonna move on to things to help out with the liver and the pancreas. Okay, so first off with the pancreas are digestive enzymes. Like I was saying, you might need to support with more digestive enzymes so you can break your food down smaller and absorb it better. And we have digestive enzymes called essential enzymes, okay? And it has multiple enzymes in here. Everything also has been infused with essential oils as well, because I see that they have seen that essential oils help drive these compounds into the cell easier and better. Wonderful to take with meals. Okay, so take it with your biggest meals of the day, and it helps so you can break that food and actually absorb more nutrients than you were before. So digestive enzymes are really awesome, really needed with different times of your life. If you're pregnant, when pregnancy slows down everything in the body, but particularly the digestive system, and you'll notice that it'll hurt right here in your chest a lot while you're pregnant, maybe even taste it in your mouth, and that has to do with food that sits in your stomach. And because digestion slows down, it starts to creep back up the esophagus. Okay, so that doesn't feel good. So I was told about digestive enzymes for that, and it is so helpful to break the food down, get it out of your stomach, and then immediately start getting processed and absorbed into the small intestine. Okay, so if you're dealing with some of those issues that I was talking about, another reason to take your digestive enzymes with essential zymes. Okay. The liver, okay, there's 2 oils that are really awesome for the liver. One, the liver responds wonderfully to lemon, okay, or citrus fruits, but particularly lemon, okay? So we have lemon concentrate essential oil here. Smells so good. I'm just going to go ahead and smell it because I need it. Or drink it. And with lemon vitality, which we have here, which means you can ingest, I suggest putting this in your water daily, shaking it up. Always use glass or stainless steel with essential oils. Shake it up, drink it on a daily basis, get it into your system. It will get to the liver, and it helps cleanse the liver of all the things that it's exposed to on a daily basis. Another blend is called Juvaflex, okay? I don't have that blend on me right now, but multiple plants in there that are wonderful for, again, supporting the liver, helping to cleanse the liver so that it can cleanse your blood and cleanse your body, okay? And that, I would, with my Juvaflex, I just rub it right around here, right, because your liver is under your right ribs. You can rub it there. It's a great blend for that. And then, again, with helping to cleanse and clean out the liver, along with the 2 oils, is Sulfurzyme. Now, this is a dietary supplement that we have that comes in capsules. It used to come in powder. It might still come in a powder. But sulfur, if you look up sulfur, particularly MSM, which is this short for this really, really long term, that your body needs for a lot of chemical reactions in the body. It needs sulfur for tons of chemical reactions, and particularly for waste removal. Okay, so for waste removal of your body, you need sulfur. Okay, so I take this, it says to take it with your heaviest meals, okay? So you take sulfur every single day, and you can take a good amount of it, and that too will help support the liver in staying clean and staying healthy and working to its highest potential, okay? Moving on. We are going to go what I recommend for the ovaries and for the testes. So this is a really great one. Again, we're dealing with too much estrogen, and our progesterone gets really low because of that. Okay, progesterone is what's needed to, it's a calming neurotransmitter for the body, so it helps you be calm. It also is what helps you get pregnant and help you stay pregnant, okay, is progesterone. So to help balance out our progesterone levels, if we're going to be over-estrogenized, is to add in a little progesterone. And we have a blend serum called Progessence Plus here. It has plant progesterone from wild yams, which is considered bioidentical in the body, okay? Also has some more essential oils in here to help drive it into the cells more. This stuff is like incredible. I recommend this to every woman of all ages, okay? Again, we're getting progesterone drops because of too much estrogen in our bodies. And you also get a big progesterone drop even more when after you've hit a certain age and you go into that menopause time of your life, then you are dropping even lower there. So you need a boost as well. So literally every girl of all ages needs to be using the Progessence Plus. You feel out how much you need to use it. When I first started and I knew my body needed more balance, I was using it twice a day. But now I'm at a point where really I think I'm okay with once a day. But then when that time of the month comes, I might need to increase it to twice a day again, okay? You know, because that's when you have a big crash. So you just have to kind of feel it out for your body. But this stuff is insane. This was what was recommended to me by my endocrinologist to start that process of feeling better. And so I love Progessence. And to add, ooh, sorry, scared me. Something just dropped in my sink. To add to that is clary sage, okay? Clary sage is a wonderful, wonderful plant. And this one, the receptor sites are right with the ovaries, okay? So you will notice changes. If you use this daily, consistently, you will notice changes every month, okay? Clary sage is awesome for that. Helps, it's not giving you any hormone. Clary sage is just a plant. But because it reacts with the ovaries, it helps your ovaries to balance out and only secrete the amount of estrogen that it needs to, that your body needs at the time. So it really helps keep a balance in that area. And when used with the Progessence to raise that up even higher, your body just feels better. Okay? Awesome clary sage. There's multiple other benefits to it too, and I can tell you about it. I even use clary sage on my husband because, again, it's not giving him estrogen, it's not giving him a hormone, but it's helping his own body to make sure he doesn't make too much estrogen, okay? And then for the testes, to also help the men, we have a blend called Mister, okay? And Mister has different things in here. We have sage, so we were just talking about clary sage, fennel, lavender, myrtle, again, thyroid, yarrow, and peppermint. Okay, so this one actually smells masculine to me. Most men like to use it, and again, it's gonna support their endocrine system too. It's kind of like their little version of Endoflex, okay? Granted, they can still use Endoflex too and should. Literally, men should be doing this full routine that I was talking about, minus the Progessence Plus and the clary. I mean, that's it. Progessence Plus is the only one that men really shouldn't use. Other than that, all of these are perfectly wonderful and needed for men. There is another oil, Idaho Blue Spruce, is supposed to really help support their testosterone. So that's an oil you could use as well. Okay, we're getting towards the end here. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit more about those xenoestrogens and that how all of those carcinogen chemicals are in our everyday products, okay? And they are a big red flag for why we're dealing with hormone imbalance, and they're huge hormone disruptors, okay? So I don't just tell people to do essential oils and take your supplements and you'll be fine. No, it is a full lifestyle change. We need root cause, again, people, and root cause has a lot to do with what we're eating and what we're putting on our skin or our body. So one, you got to watch what you're eating, and some inflammatory factors in eating are gluten, dairy, and some red meat. So those are things that I personally try to avoid when I can, to try to lower that carcinogen exposure. Okay, now when it comes to my products that I am using on myself, on my husband, and on my little one, that became important to me now that I know all the stuff that's inside of it and what our country allows. Now, again, I'm not going to get into everything because it's not a clean living class. We're talking thousands upon thousands upon thousands of synthetic chemicals that we allow on our shelves, that we buy, that we put on our skin. And anything you put on your skin, 60% of it will absorb and go into your bloodstream. Okay, and then we just assume that our body can process it and get rid of it, and there's no effect whatsoever, and that's absolutely not true. We are bioaccumulating with all these synthetic chemicals, and we are getting extremely jacked up in our hormones. So the next thing I tell people to do is we need to cleanse and unclog these receptor sites in our body, and also get rid of that exposure to it in the first place. Okay, so how do you do that? One is the sulfurzymes that I was telling you about. It's a great cleanser for the body. The sulfur is needed for waste removal, so take your sulfurzyme. Another, again, is that lemon water that I was telling you about. Multigreens is another supplement, really great for fighting free radicals and antioxidants, which will really help support the cells and fight those carcinogens. Okay, so multigreens. And in here, I like to basically explain it like you've heard of chlorophyll for a plant. That's kind of the blood life force of the plant. That's basically what we have in here is like choline and spirulina, and all these different types of greens that really help with an oxidation process to help fight off these carcinogens, okay, and fight off these free radicals. So really high antioxidants in here, highly needed to start to fight and reverse some of these processes we've begun in our body. And then Ninja Red. So Ninja Red is also really wonderful as far as an antioxidant is concerned. It's called Ninja Red because it was these are wolf berries that are grown in Ningxia, China. Okay, and on the ORAC scale, which is the antioxidant scale, these wolfberries are super high on the ORAC scale. Now, most people think like a blueberry is high in antioxidants. It's actually not. It's actually lower on the antioxidant scale, but these wolfberries are high, super high on the ORAC scale. These people in China, they farm them, they eat them. They're feeling better. They're living cleaner. They are not having all these issues. So that's when, of course, Gary Young decided to take on the wolfberry too. But we also understand that a puree is needed and not a juice. If you want that benefit that's in here, you have to use the entire plant, okay? So they puree the entire thing. They add essential oils, and we drink this every day as a supplement to help get those antioxidants into our bodies, to help fight off that daily, because we're having daily exposure to chemicals. Even though we try to limit that, we're still living, and we're not living in a bubble, and we're always going to get exposed in some way, shape, or form. So this helps support our cells and bodies to fight that off and then remove them, okay? It tastes wonderful too. It's not like you're having to force yourself to do Ninja Red, but we do recommend about 2 to 4 ounces a day in that. We buy them in these big old bulks. If you're on Essential Rewards, or if you're not, you should be. We can talk about why you should be on Essential Rewards for multiple reasons, but they have a Ninja Red Essential Rewards kit, which is even more discounted. So it's like a reward for being on Essential Rewards. And obviously, because you're buying in bulk, it gets even cheaper. So that's like the only way I'll ever buy my Ninja Red from now on. I've done the math, you save money, okay? So just to finish everything up, because I think I've covered everything, your body is holistic. It is all connected. We don't need to be symptom treating anymore and just picking and choosing little things to handle there and handle that, and we're just spinning our wheels. Okay, let's start going more root cause. Let's start supporting your body as best you can with the things you can. The Lord does the rest, and you will notice a difference. You will notice the difference in how you feel. You'll notice the difference in how your body functions. Okay, and that's a big deal, especially when you're dealing with mental health too. Remember that one organ can affect another organ, okay? Here's the other thing I want to tell people is stay consistent with this. So if you're already starting to come up with like a little bit of a routine in your head or the things that you want to get, remember that nothing happens overnight. It takes a long time for your body to, feel better, especially since the things that we've done to it didn't happen overnight. It's not going to fix itself overnight. So be consistent and be patient. It can take days, months, weeks, months before you are noticing a huge change, but eventually you do, okay? So just keep that in the back of your mind to stay consistent. You're doing this once a week is probably not going to do much for you. This has to be your daily life. Oh, I did skip something that's really important. I'm actually going to turn the camera around for this part if I can. And I don't actually think I can, so I'm just going to manually do it. Okay. This is my house. Yeah. All right. So this right here is the Thieves Essential Rewards Kit, actually. But I want you to see here that we have Thieves dish soap, Thieves hand soap, Thieves cleaner, Thieves mouthwash. It actually comes with Thieves toothpaste, but that's upstairs. Thieves hand sanitizer, spray, and the Thieves concentrate. Okay. So with that, I'm back. The reason I bring that up is because to get rid of the chemical-ridden household cleaners and your chemical-ridden dishwasher soap and your chemical-ridden cleansers of your house, you switch to Thieves, okay? This is the other kit that you get on your Essential Rewards order. They have a Thieves ER kit that, money-wise, it is the cheapest way, and you can get your cleaner this way. That cleaner, which I'll pull the bottle out here, doesn't look super huge. One, you get 2 of them, but you only need 1 capful for a 16-ounce glass bottle. The rest is water, okay? This is like, can last you 5-6 months right here, and then you get 2 of them. So you actually are not spending an arm and a leg, okay? That is how I have subbed out what I was using before. So now that is my household cleaner. That is now what I mop with. That is now what I use as my Windex. That's now what I use for my toilets. You know, I mean, it is now what I expose myself to. It is still a huge cleanser. If you know anything about Thieves, it's cinnamon, clove, eucalyptus, rosemary. Look them up, those essential oils. They're huge cleansers, okay? They're doing the dirty work. They can do it. And it smells amazing at the same time. But what I love about it is there's no warning label that says, do not inhale, do not touch it with your skin, wear gloves, wear a mask, keep away from kids, keep away from pets. That is not the case with Thieves. Thieves, they actually want you to touch it, okay? It supports your immune system. So you can, with a clear conscience, clean everything in your house, and when your toddler decides to lick the floor, because they're gonna do that, you don't have to freak out about it because of some sort of harsh chemical that could have been there. Now, I'm fine if he's exposed to it. He can help me clean, and he's starting to get interested, and I feel fine with spraying it and him touching it. That's a huge game changer, along with the fact that we're supporting his hormones by not exposing him to all those disruptors, okay? So that means a lot. The other thing is your body care, okay? So that's what I'm gonna come back around here. And you can see here, I have, these are just some of my body care products, but we have hand lotion, we have conditioner, shampoo, shower gel, deodorant, and then this is for Ty, his bath gel here, okay? So Young Living is a full spectrum company because they believe in health and wellness for all of it. They believe in the power of plants for your entire spectrum of life. And so it wouldn't really make sense to keep it to just one area and then be hypocritical about the other areas of your life. This is why the Lord was thinking of everything and gave us so many different wonderful hundreds of plants that do multiple different things, and we can make products with them that are safe, that are plant-based, that are natural, that are not full of chemicals and these hormone disruptors. And they smell good, and they work, and they cleanse, and I just love them, okay? So you wanna look into the body care, all kinds of different things in that area. And then they have a makeup line as well. It's called Savvy Minerals, and that makeup is awesome, and it's clean, and it doesn't have crap in it. So full spectrum, you want to support your hormones in multiple ways. So there are essential oils, there are your supplements, There's your Thieves Cleaner rather than using your harsh chemicals. And then there's your body care. So if you truly want to support your hormones in your body, that is the way to do it. Okay, now I didn't do all this overnight. Everything you saw are things I own. I did not get all that stuff overnight, and you don't have to either. That's why Essential Rewards is so amazing. Okay, so if you're watching this video, I'm assuming that you are with one of our member groups. Okay, so you're already a Young Life. Look at me, I'm already reverting back to high school. I'm assuming you're a Young Living wholesale member. You should be on Essential Rewards. So I want you today, you log in, you go to the left, you click on it, you scroll down to Essential Rewards, you click on that, you hit sign me up today. It's a $50 minimum a month. Here's the thing. This is an investment. Do you have a gym membership? This is just as important. Okay, if not more sometimes, but we have a gym membership. We pay way more than $50 a month. Let me tell you that. Do you have a Just FabFit box? Because if you're paying that, then it's time to chuck that out and just reallocate that money into your Essential Rewards. I don't just do $50 a month. I do way more than that, but that's because I have, not because I'm crazy, but because I've reallocated my money. So what I used to be getting at Target, I am now just getting through Young Living. Now there's perks to it as well. One, the perk is you're getting clean, natural, no chemicals, and it's actually better for you. So that's the number one perk and should be your number one motivator. But number two is that it has 10% back for the first 3 months, and then it jumps immediately to 20% back. I mean, that's incredible. I get 20% of my money back, and it comes in as basically like YL bucks, and it sits in your account, and then I just can go on there and redeem it for anything and get free things and stuff I want or need. Then on top of it, they also do monthly promos. So if you end up spending a certain amount of money, you might fall in this tier where you can get Life 9 for free that month. I got Life 9 for free this month. I was gonna get it anyway, but then I was like, wait, I can get it for free. I'll just get something else that I need, and they'll throw this in for free. They don't mess around with their freebies. They go big on their freebies every single month. Now, does Target do that for you? Do you have a rewards program with Target where you get 10 or 20% back along with them handing you free things? Oh, and they're guaranteed that you're getting 100% plant, natural, therapeutic, all that? No, you're not gonna get that there. So, Essential Rewards is your new life. The other really cool thing is that you can cancel it at any time. There is no contract and there is no cancellation fee. But you're not gonna cancel because you're gonna love it, and it's like Christmas every month when that box arrives. But you're getting all of your amazing things. You're supporting your family, you're supporting yourself. You cannot love other people if you don't function or feel good. So support yourself so you can support others. And that's the name of the game. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful. If you guys have questions, then please contact your upline and they can help you with that. Or you can contact me. Again, I'm Brittany Moses. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. I'm also in the Tree of Life and Salt Life Oils Facebook pages, and along with some other millions of oil Facebook pages, because that's how we roll. But yeah, this was really great. I hope you are feeling the passion. It is real from me. It's my new thing that I love to talk about because it's very close to my heart. And when you are in the darkness and you come out, you don't know how to not just shine that light or speak that light. So anyway, I thank God for this opportunity, and I'm praying for you that this will help and that it will be your next step towards health and happiness. So God bless. Talk to y'all later.